What if the biggest threat to your future wasn't failure, wasn't bad luck, and wasn't a lack of talent? What if it was something that felt comfortable? Every day, millions of people wake up, follow the same routine, avoid the same risks, and slowly convince themselves that they're living safely. But here's the truth. Comfort isn't always peace. Sometimes it's the quiet prison that keeps you from becoming the person you were meant to be. Today, we're going to uncover why your comfort zone feels so addictive, why your brain fights against change, and how the smallest step outside that invisible boundary can completely transform your future. Because your greatest opportunities will never be found in the place where you always feel comfortable. Have you ever wondered why staying the same feels easier than changing? It's because your brain is designed to protect you. Anything familiar feels safe, even when it isn't making your life better. That's why people stay in jobs they hate, remain in unhealthy relationships, or postpone their biggest dreams for years. The comfort zone doesn't ask if you're fulfilled. It only asks one question. Is this familiar? And if the answer is yes, your brain chooses certainty over possibility without realizing it. The strange part is, your comfort zone isn't made of walls. It's made of repeated habits. The same morning, the same excuses, the same fears, the same decisions, day after day. Those patterns quietly become your identity. You stop taking chances. You stop exploring what's possible. You settle for a life that's predictable instead of one that's meaningful. But every extraordinary achievement has always started the moment someone became uncomfortable. Because the life you truly want will never exist inside the cage that feels safe. Your brain has one primary job: to keep you safe. Not to make you successful, not to help you reach your dreams, just to protect you from danger. Thousands of years ago, that instinct kept our ancestors alive. Anything unfamiliar could mean risk. So the brain learned a simple rule. If it feels safe, stay there. The problem is, your brain still follows that same rule today, even when the real danger is never changing at all. That's why starting something new feels uncomfortable. A new business, a new career, a difficult conversation, or chasing a bigger dream. Your brain often treats them like threats. It fills your mind with doubt, creates excuses, and convinces you to wait for the perfect time. But perfect timing rarely exists. Growth always begins the moment you step beyond what's familiar. Because every successful person you admire was once afraid too. The difference is, they refused to let comfort decide their future. Comfort always asks for a price. The problem is, you rarely notice you're paying it. Every time you avoid a challenge, you lose a chance to grow. Every time you choose the easy path, you move one step further away from the life you truly want. Days become weeks, weeks become years, and suddenly, you realize you've been busy, but not moving forward. The greatest regret in life isn't failure, It's wondering, what if I had tried? Success doesn't belong to the smartest people. It belongs to those who are willing to feel uncomfortable long enough to grow. Remember, your comfort zone will always promise safety, but it can never promise progress. The future you've been dreaming about will only begin the day you choose growth over comfort and courage over excuses. The comfort zone doesn't always sound like fear. Sometimes it sounds like logic. I'll start next Monday. I need more experience. I'm waiting for the right opportunity. At first, these excuses seem reasonable. But the more you repeat them, the more your brain believes they're true. Before long, waiting becomes a habit, and your dreams slowly fade into the background. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. Every successful person has started before they felt completely ready. They took the first step while still feeling uncertain. Because action creates confidence, not the other way around. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start with what you have, where you are today. The biggest difference between the people who succeed and the people who only dream is that one group takes action, while the other keeps making excuses. Most people think fear is loud, but real fear is often silent. It hides behind comfortable routines, safe decisions, and familiar habits. It quietly tells you, don't take the risk. What if you fail? Maybe you're not ready yet. The more you listen, the stronger that voice becomes. And before you know it, you're living a life built around avoiding fear instead of chasing your potential. Here's what most people never realize. Fear doesn't disappear before you act. It disappears because you act. Every time you face something uncomfortable, your brain learns a new lesson. I survived. I can do this. I'm stronger than I thought. That's how confidence is built. Not by waiting, but by moving forward despite uncertainty. Because the comfort zone promises temporary peace, but courage creates lasting freedom. And the first step outside your comfort zone could be the first step toward the life you've always imagined. One small step doesn't seem powerful. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't change your life overnight. That's why most people ignore it. They wait for a perfect plan, a perfect opportunity, or a perfect moment. But those moments rarely arrive. Real transformation always begins with one simple decision. A decision to move, even when the path isn't completely clear. Think about every successful person you've ever admired. None of them started with certainty. They started with courage. One conversation, one application, one workout, one page, one decision at a time. Small actions may seem invisible today, but repeated every day, they create extraordinary results. Never underestimate the power of starting, because the hardest step is always the first one. Once you take it, your confidence begins to grow. Your fear begins to fade, And the future that once felt impossible starts becoming your new reality. Every great journey has always begun with one small step forward. Success doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins the moment you stop waiting. Every excuse you overcome, every fear you face, and every small step you take moves you closer to the life you've imagined. Your comfort zone may feel safe, but it cannot help you grow. Growth asks for courage. It asks you to accept uncertainty, to make mistakes, and to keep moving, even when progress feels slow. That's how real confidence is built. Imagine where you could be 1 year from now if you chose courage over comfort every single day. The future you've been waiting for isn't waiting inside your comfort zone. It's waiting just one brave step beyond it. Every day, you make choices that seem too small to matter. You choose whether to wake up early or stay in bed, whether to learn something new or scroll for another hour, whether to face discomfort or avoid it once again. These decisions may feel insignificant today, but repeated over time, they quietly shape the person you become and the future you eventually live. The life you dream about isn't built in one extraordinary moment. It's built through ordinary actions, repeated with consistency. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, action over fear, and growth over comfort, you send your brain a powerful message. You're becoming someone who refuses to settle, someone who keeps moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey feels. 1 year from today, you'll either thank yourself or wish you had started sooner. The choice belongs to you, and it begins with what you decide after this moment. Don't wait for motivation to appear. Take one small step today, then another tomorrow. Because your future isn't created by chance. It's created by the decisions you make every single day. Most people focus only on the destination. They dream about success, wealth, confidence, or freedom. But they forget something important. Every goal asks you to become a different person first. The life you want will always require new habits, stronger discipline, and a mindset that refuses to quit, even when progress feels slow. You don't become successful after reaching your goal. You become successful while working toward it. Every early morning, every difficult decision, every promise you keep to yourself is quietly building your character. Long before the world notices your success, your daily actions are shaping the person you're becoming, one choice at a time. So stop asking, when will I succeed? Instead ask, who am I becoming today? Because goals can be achieved and forgotten, but the person you become stays with you forever. Change your habits, strengthen your mindset, and success will no longer feel like luck. It will become the natural result of the person you've chosen to become. Many people spend their lives comparing themselves to others. Someone has more money, more experience, or more success. And little by little, Comparison steals their confidence. It makes them forget that everyone is walking a different path. The only comparison that truly matters is the one between who you were yesterday and who you're becoming today. Real growth isn't about beating someone else. It's about becoming stronger than your old habits, learning one new skill, making one better decision, and taking one more step than you did before. Small improvements may seem invisible, but over time, they create extraordinary results. Progress is never about perfection. It's about refusing to stop. Stop measuring your life against someone else's timeline. Focus on your own journey. Celebrate every lesson, every improvement, and every victory, no matter how small it seems. Because success doesn't belong to the person who moves the fastest. It belongs to the one who keeps moving, even when nobody is watching. And one day, you'll realize the greatest victory was never over others. It was over the person you used to be. One day, you'll look back at this moment and you'll realize your life didn't change because everything became easier. It changed because you finally decided to step beyond your comfort zone. The fear didn't disappear. The uncertainty didn't vanish, but you stopped allowing them to control your future. That's the moment real transformation begins. Remember, the comfort zone can offer temporary peace, but it can never offer lasting growth. Every dream you've been holding on to, every goal you've been delaying, and every version of yourself you've imagined is waiting just beyond the place that feels familiar. The question isn't whether you have potential. The question is, will you choose courage over comfort? So don't let this be another video you simply watched. Let it become the moment you made a different decision. Take one small step today, then another tomorrow. Because extraordinary lives are never built by staying comfortable. They're built by ordinary people who choose courage again and again. Your future is waiting. Now, take the first step.